Welcome. Today, we are going to jump into a topic that we all hear a lot about. And I'm going to talk about it today from a little bit different perspective than what we normally hear. When you hear the word focus, most of us hear something around, making sure that we're focusing in on what's important or on one thing at a time or being focused in the moment, right? And I'm going to, yes, those are all important, but today I want to talk about it from a little bit different perspective. I am Angela W. Stillwell. I am the CEO and founder of Untapped Strengths, and I work with teams to convert them into powerhouses, and I work with individuals to transform them into top 1% leaders. And what made me think about this topic was I was on a call with Eileen Wilder the other day, and she reminded me of a quote from Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill. And the quote is, I'm going to read this because I don't want to mess it up. If you have an important point to make, don't try to be subtle or clever. Use a pile driver. Hit the point once, then come back and hit it again, then hit it a third time with a tremendous whack. All right. If you have an important point to make, don't try to be subtle or clever. Use a pile driver, hit the point once, then come back and hit it again, then hit it a third time, a tremendous whack. All right. So why that? Because that is the whole way that focus happens, right? When you are giving a speech or a talk and you have a point you want to make, you make the point one time, you make it again, and you make it again. You guys hear me here on the weekly lives constantly talking about leadership, community, and power skills. Leadership, community, power skills. Leadership, community, power skills. Leadership, community, power skills. Why? Because I believe, and I know that those are three things that absolutely are huge differentiators in your results in your life, whether they are personal results, professional results, whatever kind of results it is that you are looking for. I know that it is leadership, community, and power skills that are huge differentiators for you. Okay. But back to this thing about focus. How does all of this relate to focus? And what is the differentiator that I'm talking about regarding focus? Again, like I said at the beginning, most of the time when people are talking about focus, they're talking about, having focus time or having, getting into flow state. I was listening to a YouTube with, his name is escaping me at this moment. He is Stephen Kotler's partner in the company that they put together. Chasing Fire. That's not the name of it. Anyway, they've written several books. They've done a lot of studies with like Navy SEALs and others about getting into flow state and what that looks like and what the importance is of having that focus time. Cal Newport, same thing. Deep work, right? All of that is talking about getting into flow state and really being able to focus in on whatever the thing is that you're doing. In fact, one of the things that the guy that I was listening to on YouTube was saying, a lot of the top biohackers or whatever out there, they have like these big morning routines. They do ice baths and they do their meditation and they do their yoga and they do their mantras and they do their affirmations and they do their prayer time and they do their journaling and they have like this whole thing. And he was talking about that. What he was finding was that he wasn't getting to work until like 11 or 12 or later because he had this whole morning routine to do. And then if he skipped anything, he felt guilty. And he started studying some of the most effective multimillionaires, billionaires, et cetera. And he was like, they don't have these big morning routines, or if they do, they're very short, quick, and they're focused and right at work straight away. And so he tried that process. And what he found was that after doing that process for over a year, he started mimicking some of the same impact that they have, where they start gaining weight, they start having health issues, they become grumpier with their family and with their loved ones, and the people around them pay the price for them not having those morning rituals that help get them set to and focus in on, their personal well-being. And so then he started thinking, okay, well, you do all of this morning routine stuff to get yourself into a flow state to be able to really focus. So what that looks like is getting to sleep. Well, when you first wake up in the morning, you are already in a flow state, right? So he was like, okay, so what if I get out of bed and I immediately get into work? And what he found was that if you can get to work within like 60 or 90 seconds after waking up, then you are immediately, you continue the flow state from being asleep. Yes, you're kind of groggy when you're first getting started, and you're automatically in that state of flow. And you're able to focus and get amazing amounts of things done in a shorter period of time, which is what that whole flow state thing is about. You're able to really be creative. You're able to get more done in a concentrated amount of time and make a bigger impact, right? So all of that is what most people talk about when they talk about focus, when they talk about flow state, when they talk about, really zeroing in on a point that needs to be made, right? And what I want to do is help you better understand and give you a different way of using this. All right. So when our brains are trying to rewrite a neural pathway, when we're trying to develop a new habit and we hear something negative about it, we repeat that 9 times. Remember, Winston Churchill said, if you have a point to make it 3 times, make it once, make it twice, make it 3 times. Well, that's what our brains do. Our brains repeat things multiple times. If it's a positive, it gets repeated 1 time. If it's a negative, it gets repeated 9 times or more. That's why we become so attuned to the negative remarks. Like if you've written something, or you've done a video, or you have made a presentation and you hear one negative remark, or you read one negative comment, you forget about all of the positive. Okay? Because your brain has repeated that negative comment, that negative thought, that negative impact over 9 times, making that the focus. Okay? So here's what you get to do. You get to focus in on the positive, but you get to do it consciously so that you can stay in that focused place, so that you can stay directed into your flow state, your concentration, your whatever it is that you're working on, right? You get to consciously, as Winston Churchill said, say it once. Don't be subtle and clever or cute about it. You get to really zero in on the positive aspect, the positive comment, the positive emotion, the positive whatever, and repeat that multiple times to yourself. That's why people do affirmations. That's why people do, these morning routines. It gets them into a place where they're repeating. It's like lifting weights and building muscle. You don't do it by doing one curl, right? You don't build your biceps by doing one curl. You build your biceps by doing the curl over and over and over again, right? That's how you build your muscle. That's also how you build your focus. That's how you build your positive thoughts. That's how you build your focus on whatever it is that you're trying to focus. Again, whether that is focusing in on your partner, or whether it's focusing in on your business, or whether it's focusing in on a client, or whether it's focusing in on something that you're writing, or some spreadsheet that you're working on. You get it. You get to that place by repeating it over and over and over consciously, right? And I mean, I am a person who gets distracted very easily. So I get to consciously bring myself back to the point over and over and over again. And, people with ADD, ADHD, it's the same thing. And people with ADD, ADHD, they also can get into that flow state and get very, very deep into a topic if it's something that they're interested in, right? So when you think about focus, I want you to think about it not just from the normal, I need to focus on this particular topic. I want you to focus in on building your neural pathways by repeating multiple times, just as Winston Churchill said. Say it once, say it again, say it a third time emphatically. And when you are rewriting stories, limiting beliefs, whatever it is, the negative things that we say to ourselves or that someone else has said to us that we keep repeating in our minds, you get to say your truth. You get to speak your truth more than once. You get to focus on your truth. Okay? Here's how you do that. You get to step into your leadership. You get to have community around you, and you get to work on your power skills. See what I did there? I went right back to those 3 points. I'm focusing in. I'm hitting that pile driver on those 3 points. Listen, developing a community around you is key. Staying in your leadership is key. Knowing what that looks like in any situation is key. Knowing your power skills, practicing your power skills, knowing what those are, being able to learn from someone about what those look like, how you get to use those so that you are better engaged and better focused, super important. All right. So that's what I want to leave you with today. As you're going through this holiday season, think about how important it is that you have a community that is like-minded. Look, if you're listening to me and you're watching this and you read my posts and maybe you've been a client, I know that you're a high performer. And as high performers, we get to create a community of other high performers because the vast majority of people out there aren't high performers. And they don't understand our drive. They don't understand our focus. They don't understand our desire to continue to up level. They don't understand our desire to not settle for mediocrity in any part of my life, your life, our lives, right? Mediocrity, okay, yeah, it's a starting place. It's not where we want to finish. It's not where we want to focus. It's not where we want to be for forever, right? So my encouragement for you, my challenge for you is to build that community. If you're interested in being part of a community, I'm actually in the process of putting that together. I'll be announcing it pretty soon if you're interested in more information on that. And the focus of that community is going to be, number one, building community. It's going to be your leadership. It's going to be focused on power skills and how those impact every aspect of your life, your relationships, your health, your career, your finances, right? Your spirituality, all of that. If that's something that you're interested in, comment or send me a DM on whichever platform you're watching this. And I look forward to hearing from you. And yeah, let me know what you think about this whole idea, this whole concept of looking at focus from a different perspective. You getting to internally focus on, what is it that is really driving you? Not the negative, but the positive. Let me know your thoughts on that. I can't wait to hear from you. Have a great remainder of your Wednesday, and I will see you next week on the next weekly live show.